maybe protect himself from anyone seeing him properly. He spotted a little girl on what looked like a brand new bike. The look on her face told him everything he needed to know. He was a monster. Gubba turned and hurried away, the umbrella leaning on his shoulder. As he walked, he looked at the houses and buildings, wondering what had happened to his town. At first, he wasn't sure it was such a good idea to go there, but he needed to know if his childhood home was still the same. And most of all, he needed to know if his mother was still there. Gubba hurried down First Street, his heart beating fast as he got closer. In his kick of adrenaline, he almost forgot the excruciating pain he was in. But he never forgot who had put him in it. Rage rose in him as he stopped in front of the old house. He stood behind the white fence and looked at the porch. The big live oak was still standing tall behind the house, the tallest tree in town, known to have been used to hang blacks during the Bush Lake massacre. A sign outside told him the house was for sale. It looked empty. As a matter of fact, it looked like it had been empty for a very long time. The windows were covered with plywood. Gubba gritted his teeth through the pain when thinking about the town, and especially his mother. He felt dizzy and had to sit down on the pavement to not faint. Then, he started to cry. The salt from the tears stung when they rolled across his peeled-off skin. Chapter 2. Bush Lake, 1997. Parked so it took up 2 spaces in the empty parking lot outside the Woodshed pub was a filthy, beat-up, mostly red under the dirt, pickup truck. It had 3 bumper stickers on the back. "Only gay cops give me tickets," one read. The other said, "Rehab is for quitters." And lastly, the biggest one said, "Learn from your parents' mistake. Use birth control." Ethel Turner, or E.T. as her drinking buddies called her, emerged from the double doors and zigzagged towards the truck. She dropped first her purse, then her keys more than once, and soon as she had managed to get them pulled out of said purse, E.T. laughed, trying to keep her balance, and headed towards the truck. Her face was bloated, her stomach bulging. Her skinny arms and legs made her stomach stand out even more, making her look eerily like the alien from the movie she was nicknamed after, but had never seen herself. She cursed when trying to open the door with a key, missing the keyhole on several attempts, and scratching the door instead. When she finally succeeded and got inside, she caught a glimpse of herself in the rearview mirror and touched her hair. It desperately needed a new dyeing. The roots were growing out, and you could see all the grays at the bottom. "You look like a darn witch," she told her own reflection, then grabbed her skin and pulled it back to see what she would look like if she had a facial lift. It wasn't any prettier, she thought with a sigh, then let the skin fall back in place and removed her glance from the mirror. She started the truck, and it roared back to life. At first, she forgot to put it in reverse, and drove up onto the porch of the Woodshed pub, knocking over a plastic chair with an "oops," and accompanied by an annoyed growl. She finally found reverse, the tail lights turned on, and she backed out of the parking lot so fast she almost lost control of the truck. She hit drive, then stepped on the gas and roared onto the road, heading towards Bush Lake, the town's big water tower guiding her like that star guided those darn wise men. She passed the city limit sign, but didn't slow down to 35 like the sign told her to. Ethel rushed through Main Street, almost hit Hannah Charles on her new bike, and waved at her out of the window, cigarette burning from the side of her mouth. The girl waved back, her eyes wide open, on the verge of crying, but holding it back. E.T. stopped at the supply store on Main Street, slalomed inside, grabbed a 6-pack, and threw a 20 at Ronnie behind the counter, smoke hitting her eye as she stretched out her hand to receive the change. Back in the truck, she opened the first beer before returning onto the road without even looking for traffic. Her tires screeched as she took a turn on First Street, Mrs. Richardson grabbing her preschool children and pulling them to the side so she wouldn't hit any of them. She sped down First Street towards her house at the end of it, when she saw something that made her instantaneously hit the brakes. "What the heck?" On the pavement in front of the old abandoned